Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. I thought I'd get you off guard there.
Thank you.
We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nice to have a bigger group here in person tonight. Roll call, please.
Can everyone hear me? Okay. Trujillo? B. Smith?
Why don't you say the first name there? B
Here.
and P.
Bob
Here.
Smith?
I am here.
Lucinovich?
I'm here.
Couch? David Couch? Zach Scrivener?
Here.
Veronica Vasquez?
Here.
John Crump?
Here.
Sally Gonzalez? Kyle Blades?
Here.
Orchel Cryer?
Here.
Bill Smith?
Here again.
Kathy Prout?
Yes.
Alex Garcia?
Present.
Danae Alcala?
Here.
Kiernan?
John Kersey filling in for Kiernan.
Thank you, John. Michael Navarro?
Here.
And Cindy Para.
I am here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Just a reminder for those here, make sure your microphone's on when we're speaking. Thank you. Public comments. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the council on any matter not on this agenda, but under the jurisdiction of the council. Council members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the council at a later meeting. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record prior to making a presentation. Do we have any public comments? We see Dr. Anna Levon, Executive Director with the Bakersfield Kern Regional Homeless Collaborative, and she's going to give a brief presentation, and we told her she could go longer than 2 minutes because she's got a video and they're doing a lot of good things. So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Is it on? Can you hear me? Okay. I'll try to aim my voice. Thank you so much to the chair and the rest of the council here. I'm really excited to be able to present to this body. And really, the impetus around this was that July is Homelessness Awareness Month. And our organization and partner members have been hard at work at addressing homelessness. And in particular, our goal for this month has been we want to reach out to the community, not just Bakersfield, but all of Kern County, all 8,000 square miles, to help the community best understand some ways that we can all be part of solutions around homelessness. And so I'm wondering if we might be able to cue up the video first, and then I can talk a little bit about the business toolkit as well as the resource card that we've developed as well.
Sure, that'd be great. I understand it's a 6-minute video, just to let everybody know.
But it's very enticing.
There's no one type of homeless person. There's no one thing that causes people to be homeless. So many different experiences of trauma nudge people into that dark place.
We say that the cause of homelessness is a lack of support, a lack of housing, and a lack of social networks or a safety net.
I'm Adam Clark. I am the Community Outreach Specialist at Flood Ministries. I think I went into engaging with people experiencing homelessness assuming that they were going to be volatile, extremely pessimistic, extremely broken, and I didn't find that to be true. The majority of people that I engaged with were just very thankful for me even acknowledging their presence, because society has dehumanized homelessness so much.
A lot of people just immediately associate homelessness with mental illness or addiction. Certainly there is that component amongst the unsheltered population, but there's also people falling into homelessness for the very first time. I'm Heather Kimmel. I'm the Assistant Executive Director at the Housing Authority of the County of Kern. Homelessness is complex, and so there has to be many different approaches in solving it. So permanent supportive housing is one of those interventions. It is where you take a homeless individual directly from where they are, you place them into permanent housing, and then you wrap intensive services around them where they are, place-based services. Individuals aren't going to begin to heal or recover unless their basic needs are met: food, water, and shelter.
So typically in any given year, we have between 2,000 to about 2,200 folks who experience homelessness for the first time. And of that group, usually we would be seeing between 10 to 30% of those needing something like permanent supportive housing as their housing solution for them. My name is Anna Lavin, and I'm the Executive Director for the Bakersfield-Kern Regional Homeless Collaborative. So someone with a disability or an elderly person, or they may be experiencing mental health disorders, those folks are likely to need ongoing stability, ongoing services that help them address those needs. And that's exactly what permanent supportive housing does.
Permanent supportive housing provides people who've experienced homelessness sometimes the first opportunity to be in a safe space, to have security, when they sleep, when they act, and for a lot of people, that's the beginning process of healing. Because if you don't feel safe in your environment, you're not going to be thinking about healing. You're going to be in fight or flight. One of the big components of getting housed as a homeless person is that relationship building practice, really, to build the person up to even be in a place where they can transition into a house.
The supportive service staff, the case managers, first understand what that person is dealing with, what their barriers are, what are the experiences that they have had that have led them to homelessness.
We're not just taking them and saying, hey, here's a house, deal with it, figure it out. We're saying, hey, here's a house, also what do you need help with? Whether it's mental health, whether it's substance abuse, basic things like me and you feel like doing laundry, stuff like that, we help them with that. My name is Will Triplett, and I am the Milestone Aftercare Supervisor. Any kind of life skill pretty much that they need help with is what we're here to assist them with.
First, just a safe haven. That's what I think permanent supportive housing is, a safe haven. They know this is a permanent place for them to stay. My name is Sharonda Matthews. I work for the Housing Authority of the County of Kern, and I'm a housing manager here for Milestone Union. I have a lot of interaction with the tenants on a daily basis. They may come in and needing, work order repairs done in their unit. They also come in sometimes to, pay rent and things like that.
In 90 days, we were able to lift up and convert 150 units to permanent supportive housing. And we've never seen that in our community before. We have an ongoing need. Folks become homeless all of the time. And so we continue to need to develop additional permanent supportive housing year after year in order to serve the community and the needs that we have.
Housing solves homelessness. And then when you have the support in place, it is a long-term solution and people don't experience it again. We have over a 90% success rate in the PSH model because it is place-based services where you are creating a home for somebody where they can live as long as they choose to. If we want to make the biggest impact in reducing homelessness in our community, PSH is the best way to stretch our dollars.
Being rejected and then being shown grace ignites this fire within them to want to thrive.
I would say that the quality of life definitely goes up. Participants waking up with a smile every day. And that sounds very small, but that is one of the biggest things for me coming here, because I know starting off with this place, we didn't have too many smiles.
So let's take your homeless neighbor who is suffering and make them a housed neighbor.
Thank you for extending me some additional time so that we could showcase our new permanent supportive housing video. I thought it was important to be able to show this to leadership across the county because as we, I think, sort of strongly try to say,
Muted.
Permanent supportive housing
Unmuted.
Permanent supportive housing is one of our best solutions to addressing homelessness in our community. And so we really wanted to impress upon the community that when trust is given to us, when, as we anticipate both from the state and the federal side, we anticipate additional dollars coming into our community specifically to address homelessness and in particular to focus on housing development, that this is one of the best solutions that we have available to us. So our ask is that soon when we come to the county or various different entities to say we have various projects, that this is the kind of project that you will visualize and know that that's what we can help realize in our community. The other item that I wanted to bring to you, and that's in your packets of material that I provided, is a business toolkit. We realize that many of our businesses and for many really reasonable reasons are incredibly frustrated by the negative impacts of homelessness in our community. And so we wanted to create something that would help businesses know, rather than calling 911 necessarily for non-emergency issues, that there are other ways that we can help support them with their needs. And so the primary is calling 211 to try to get folks connected with the right resources. But we also, I would be remiss if I didn't make mention of Flood Ministries, California Veterans Assistance Foundation, as well as Clinica Sierra Vista, who all provide significant outreach services, both in Metro Bakersfield as well as in our outlying communities. And then finally, I also wanted to make mention, this is a little bit more pertinent for those serving Metro Bakersfield. We have resource cards that also essentially say the same thing. The purpose of these resource cards is really for individuals in our community who are encountering folks they believe may be experiencing homelessness, and they want to be able to provide them with some opportunities and some resources. That's what this resource card is for. And so it describes places where you can seek out emergency shelter, where you can receive a shower, where you can really try to focus on some of your core needs if you are experiencing homelessness. And those core needs typically are safety, shelter, and food. And so we've developed these resource cards. We started with Metro Bakersfield because that is where 9 out of our 10 folks experiencing homelessness reside. And our goal is to also create a resource card that would be appropriate for our rural communities. That's a little trickier because we have a lot of rural communities and a lot of kind of varying degrees of resources out there. So again, I just want to thank you. I want to impress upon you that we're really working on developing strategies to address homelessness. There are many that are in the works, and part of our goal is to help our community better understand what those strategies are and help them be a part of those solutions. Our door is always open at BKRHC, so if anybody ever wants to have conversations or would like presentations from us to their various clubs or organizations or even on an individual level, please know that we really encourage folks to reach out to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Appreciate the work. 90% success rate is very good.
And that's at 2 years.
Right.
2-year recidivism rate is, right now it's actually 5%. So only 5% return to the streets through something like permanent supportive housing.
That's really wonderful. Any other questions or comments?
I have one. Thank you very
Virtual.
much. I enjoyed your program.
Microphone on.
About that, keep forgetting. I think it's a great program you're doing, and I like to see where we rehabilitate them, where they get back in the workforce. Some can, some can't. Yeah, do you try to work with them and put them in the workforce?
Yeah, I'm really glad that you asked that because that's actually in our business toolkit as well. We have several job development programs. One is operated out of the Bakersfield Homeless Center. Another is operated out of the Mission. And I would also be remiss to not mention Project Higher Up, which is through Bakersfield College in a collaboration with CityServe as well. So there are multiple efforts to try to help support folks gain self-sufficiency through workforce development.
What I find out, I enjoy trying getting people to go back to work and stuff. We employ about 470 people, and it's hard to get labor, especially right now. It's getting really difficult because so many different programs out there mitigates them to really want to work anymore. But do you have programs where train them and stuff that they to get them to, like, if I want to work with hire some people, and the biggest problem I see is getting them to work.
Yes. No, absolutely. We have a couple of different phone numbers in that business toolkit, or if you want to send me an email individually, I am more than happy to get you connected more directly with those programs. We absolutely are very much committed to trying to get folks into jobs. And if we hear folks who are interested in hiring those who are formerly homeless, we get really excited. So that's fantastic to hear.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comments? Seeing none, I'll move on to the next item, consent agenda opportunity for public comment. All items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by Kern COG staff and will be approved by one motion if no member of the council or public wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in the listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the council concerning the item before action is taken. Any member of the public wish to take anything off consent? Seeing none, any council members wish to remove anything off consent? Seeing none, I'll take a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Bob Smith,
Yes.
Lucinovich,
Yes.
Scrivener,
Aye.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Blades, Kyle Blades,
Aye.
Orchel Crier,
Yes.
Philip Smith,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Garcia,
Aye.
Alcala,
Yes.
Kersey,
Yes.
and Para.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 3, Federal Transportation Improvement Program.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Amendment number 5 includes revisions to the transit program and non-motorized program. The public review period ends July 16th. The Kern COG Executive Director will consider approval of the amendment on July 19th. State and federal approval is required. At this time, I ask that the chair please open the public hearing, allow for public comment, and then close the public hearing.
Thank you. Public hearing is open. Are there any comments? Nothing email, nobody's on the phone. Hearing no comments, I will close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Caltrans report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, members. Michael Navarro with Caltrans. Pleasure to be here.
Nice to see you in person.
Yeah,
Can you
came
get a little-
last month, but this is a much better turnout than last month, so this is great.
Michael, can you get closer to the
Close
mic?
Absolutely. Apologies. Better. So before I start my project update, just wanted to share. So heard a lot about Clean California. So a few days ago, the governor did sign the bill that approved the Clean California Act. So that turned out to be a $1.1 billion over 3 years. One of the programs we're looking at, there's a $300 million carve out for competitive local programs for local agencies to apply for. It'll be a competitive program to apply for funds for things like beautification, litter removal. So when we think of beautification, we're thinking of things like, landscape, maybe public spaces, plazas, things like that. They're currently developing the guidelines. We're hearing about 6 months out. We'll see that call for projects. We'll be running that through my local assistance program. So we do plan on doing some outreach to the communities to provide more information once available. Another component might be possibly education. Also related to this program, we're looking at Caltrans doing free dump days in our district. So we're going to do 2 free dump days a year. So we're looking at things like more like household waste, not the e-waste or green waste, but household products like, the matches. So we want to work with the communities and find out locations where they're doing things like illegal dumpings occurring. So we can kind of target that area. I mean, for our district, I would imagine we probably want to have one in our northern part, one in our southern part of the district. So as that develops, we'll want to do some outreach and figure out where those locations are and where will be like the most strategic places that hold these free dump events going forward. So more to come on that. Also, we're going to have additional resources for what we call delegated maintenance agreements. So some communities have found it beneficial to work with us where maybe we're not able to get to the interchange as frequently as you would like, and we'll have extra resources where we can work with the agency who wants to take that work on, where we can compensate and provide resources if you want to have your own crews clean that up. So if anyone's interested in that, please let me know. Happy to have those conversations. So on to project updates. Gap Closure Rehab Project. This is the State Route 58 rehab in Bakersfield from the 5899 separation to Cottonwood Road. Work scheduled for this month are punch list items, sign installation, dike replacement, and some additional electrical work. So we anticipate that project being completed next month. The Bakersfield Freeway Connector Project. This is at Route 58 and Route 99. Work is continuing to progress on this project. Various bridge, drainage, slope, and sound wall work is occurring. The retaining wall work along the southbound 99 is about 90% complete right now, and the continuous reinforced concrete pavement work has started. This contract is anticipated to be completed in January of 2022. The State Route 99 Fast Freight Corridor Project. This is from the beginning of Route 99 at I-5 to the US 99 overcrossing. The continuous reinforced concrete pavement has been completed in Lane 2 for that 11-mile stretch of the project. The contractors are removing temporary K-rail, final striping, and other finishing work. The project's about 95% complete, and this project is scheduled to be complete either by the end of this month or possibly mid-August. State Route 99 Rehab Project from Palm Avenue overcrossing to the Beardsley Canal. So currently have closed lane 3 and 4 and shoulder in the southbound direction. Continuous reinforced concrete pavement work still going on. We have opened some ramps, so the ramps at Olive Drive, Rosedale ramps in California have been opened. And as of July 9th, we did close the Airport Drive, Rosedale, in California. The on-ramp at Airport Drive, the off-ramp at Rosedale, and the California slip-on ramp. And that's anticipated to be 55-day closures on those ramps. That project anticipated to be completed early of spring of next year. The State Route 223 Derby Signal Project. This is a safety project on the east end of Arvin. So the initial railroad work has been completed. The contractor work is scheduled to start on July 19th, and we anticipate that project taking 120 working days. The State Route 184 Sunset Roundabout. This project achieved ready to list status. The PG&E transmission line relocation is scheduled to start in October, and we plan on this project going out for advertisement in August of this year. Also in Arvin, the State Route 223 184 roundabout. That project is also ready to list, and we anticipate advertising this project this coming fall, just awaiting some utility relocation. Union Avenue high intensity activated crosswalk. So this is the Hawk system we talked about. As indicated, we are trying to accelerate this project. This project is currently in design. It was originally scheduled to be ready to list in February. We think we shaved off a few months so far, so we're thinking it'll be ready to list in December. We figured out a way to use maintenance funds to purchase poles, which will shave off the 4-month delivery. So, like I said, we think we could probably, we're shooting for February for advertisement. Originally, the goal was going to be, originally the schedule was for August, shooting for early summer for construction. So it looks like we've shaved a few months off of that project to get that accelerated. So doing the best we can. So we're still making that a priority. A lot of talk, as you know, historically when I came on board here, the State Route 204 bike lanes, and the commitment from us was to go out there and, as an interim project, get the edge line painted for the bicyclists before the end of the year, while still focusing on the more holistic project, which include the signage and the stencils and the green paint and the conflict zones. So we do have our maintenance crew scheduled to go out there on July 19th to paint that edge line. So we'll get that out there, get the edge lines painted, and it's going to be about a 2-mile stretch. I think it's from Brundage to California is the segment we're looking at. But keeping in mind, with a minor project, we are going to come back and do the more holistic project with the with the signage, the stencils, and I mentioned the green paint and the conflict zone. So the goal is to have that done. We did put that in this fiscal year work plan, so within the year have that done. And like I said, hopefully this interim fix will provide some added comfort for the bicyclists. So finally get something on the ground. So State Route 46, this is the segment 4B project, which converts a 2-lane conventional highway to a 4-lane facility in and near Lost Hills. This is the one where we had the build grant funds on. So stage 1 work includes roadway excavation, embankment, drainage system replacement, and Class 2 aggregate base placement, electrical work. And this work is continuing to progress. PG&E and Southern California gas relocation is also in progress and ongoing. The State Route 46 segment 4C, this also converts 2-lane conventional highway to 4-lane to a 4-lane facility. This project is currently in the design phase. Our 60% constructability review is scheduled for August, and right-of-way acquisition is underway. This project will be ready to list and advertise summer of 2022. With that completes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. The cleanups are very important, and I'm sure a lot of us will be happy to participate in that. The free dump days we've been having in the city of Bakersfield, and they've been very successful.
Very successful. That's good.
It's a lot better to have them bring the mattress to a spot
Absolutely.
than having to go pick up the mattress. Yeah.
Absolutely. And if there's a better way of recommendation to how to coordinate on locations for the free dump days, I'm happy to work with Aaron or this board if there's a way we can be strategic about that. Happy to hear any feedback. So
Great, and appreciate the moving Union Avenue. You know, we've talked about the pedestrian bicycle deaths there. That's just
understood.
The more we can move that forward,
Agreed.
It's great, and the bike edge line. So any other comments for Michael?
If I could add, Mr. Chairman, American Refuse has historically done large bulk waste pickups. They have some locations that worked in the past. That might be something that they can check in, or someone they can check in with for ideas.
Thank you. Ms. Parra.
Mr. Smith, Chairman Smith took my thunder. I was going to say thanks for Union Avenue. That's been a big problem out there. What's from where to where are you going to stripe the shoulder line or whatever?
Yeah, so the edge line we're doing. So the edge line that we're doing, the work starting on July 19th. It was from Brundage to California. I believe it's about a 2-mile stretch, is my understanding.
Okay.
And like I said, that'll be the first phase, and then we'll continue to have conversation with the city about the more holistic. We're doing it as a minor B project, but we can have more discussion about things that there's, and I'm not too familiar if there's areas that have parking constraints and things like that, if we need to talk about the resolution from the city or anything along those lines, but we'll continue to engage and have conversations as needed.
Was that ever referred to staff regarding that parking removing the parking?
I'm not sure. It was back and forth, but yeah, if you need anything, let
Right.
me know
Sure.
from the city.
I appreciate that. And I think maybe it wasn't referred back to staff at this point because I think we owe you more of at least a plan or design so you know what kind of area we're working with, which we're still developing. So I know John Lou from my office, he was talking to Nick before he left, and I think he's been talking to Ryan Starbuck about this current project. So as we develop that, we'll need to have more conversations about what makes sense for the city. So
Great. Thank you. Any other comments? Thank you. District 9.
Hello, good evening, Chair and Council members. I'd like to start by thanking Mayor Eric Brune, Council Member Kyle Blades, and Mojave CHP for joining Caltrans last Wednesday, July 7th, to pick up litter along State Route 178 East in Ridgecrest in support of the state's Clean California initiative. We appreciate everybody coming out to dig in with us. Kind of on that same note, and perfect timing with our wonderful lead-in presentation tonight, Clean California positions are open, and they are looking to hire many entry-level type positions, people who are looking to transition, get a job and start a career. And so we have opportunities at Caltrans, and I'll go ahead and put a link in the chat for anyone who's interested or knows someone who might be, to get the word out. We did wrap up and finalize the Ridgecrest Inyo Kern pavement planning document at the end of last month. Thank you to everybody who provided input for that document. And in project-related news, the update on Rosamond Mojave Rehab. We're pushing onward. Fortunately, we are not having problems with temperatures for the paving of the continuously reinforced concrete pavement. There have been many projects struggling throughout the state. Fortunately, that's not been the case for us at this point. So they continue. They're doing the second pass on the southbound number 2 lane currently, and they anticipate completing that toward the end of this month. And then we'll look forward to moving on to the northbound lanes toward the end of August. That's all I have to report this evening. Happy for any comments or questions.
Thank you. Do we have any questions or comments?
I do have one for you.
Okay, Rachel.
On 58 eastbound, that lane's open for wide load equipment. Now going west, you have a restriction of 9 feet on the permits to move the equipment. But what happens when we have that lane be done? Because right now everybody's finishing up going eastbound, but westbound you're gonna have a lot of people wanting to go and move equipment like putting up 14 feet down to as low as 12 foot without restrictions. Because to go around all that, we have to drive over 100 miles, go through LA just about through Victorville to get to back to Bakersfield. And we're tempted, it's been talked that we may be tempted, not only my company, one of my company I work for, but other ones, is to offload the equipment and drive it, the wide equipment, through that construction zone. Is there a time when that will be open again to wide load equipment?
I am
I'm sorry,
uncertain. I don't
let me
know the
interrupt.
details of
I think
that.
somebody needs to mute. We're getting some background noise. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, that's okay. I apologize. I heard what you were saying, but I don't have any detailed information on that. Am I able to follow up with you personally on that?
Not a
and,
problem.
see what I can uncover?
That would be great.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, thank you very much, Caltrans. Executive Director's Report.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. I have a few items on this agenda. On June 23rd and 24th, the California Transportation Commission met. I'm happy to report that they approved almost $4.5 million for active transportation program for Bakersfield, Delano, Tehachapi, and Kern COG. Great news, and this was approved by the Kern COG Board way back in April. The CTC also published their draft state transportation improvement program. That's what we generally call the STIP. The estimate of what will be available for the next cycle, and our estimate is $11.6 million for the next cycle. And we will talk about that number in our closed session later tonight. We also received some good news regarding funding to implement the 2019 Kern electric vehicle charging station blueprint. Bottom line is, I've previously reported that we thought we were going to get $700,000. We recently got news last week that we will be getting almost $2.5 million. So good news to all the communities in Kern County that are associated with that project. Over the last month, I've continued to have meetings regarding 7th Standard and Route 43 roundabout, potential improvements on 99 at either Truxton or Stockdale Highway, the improvements that Michael shared on State Route 46 through Lost Hills. We've also met with District 9 regarding the truck climbing lane project on State Route 58, and I was happy to see some environmentalists conducting surveys out there. So the $5 million we put towards that project and the $5 million we put towards Hageman flyover is already being put to good use. Subject to any of your questions, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
I
Mr.
have one. Sorry about a little active today.
Well, we're gonna let Phil Smith go first, so we can give you a break.
Where do you have your meetings? Do you go up to Bishop for those meetings? On the truck climbing lanes? Are they virtual?
The meetings that I've had in the past month have been virtual.
Over the weekend, I noticed on Copus Road and Interstate 5, there's a new charging station there they put in. I think they had like a grand opening there over the weekend. Or did we have anything to do with that? Okay.
Linda, can you come up to the microphone?
Hi. In advance, I'm Linda Urata, Kern COG staff. In advance of the 4th of July weekend, Tesla wanted to put in 24 of their supercharging stations at Copus Road. They had been having some slowdown with county permits, and we were able to coordinate a meeting between Tesla and the planning department that got that project back on track so that they were able to get their permits in mid-June, and then by 4th of July weekend, in just about 2 to 3 weeks, they were able to put in that charging station location. And then as part of those meetings, we also met with them about coordinating with the Hard Rock Casino that's coming in. So they've had a meeting now with Hard Rock about putting Tesla charging stations at that location. And we're also talking with them about they already have somebody working with Bakersfield College and their automotive technology program. As you may know, there's a Tesla maintenance facility here in Bakersfield, and they have their own training program for automotive technicians, and we're hoping that that can become one of the course offerings at Bakersfield College.
I came real close to crashing that party there you had, because I turned off a 5 to go into the field, and there's a cherry orchard right in the area there, in the dirt road through there, and I cut across there, and I saw all that food and drinks and all that nice stuff. I almost stopped.
I don't know. Maybe you would have run into Supervisor Couch there. I don't know if he made it or not. But
Is that how they charge that? Through the electricity, or is that generated on site?
Those ones right now are to the grid, but a lot of them have solar. Yeah.
Looked real nice.
Oh, good. I haven't been out there yet. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, we will end the TPPC meeting and begin the COG meeting. Roll call is the same. Public comments. Does anybody have any public comments for the current COG meeting? Seeing none, consent agenda. Any public comments for the consent agenda? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Bob Smith,
Yes.
Lasinovich,
Did I hear my name? Yes.
Scrivener,
Aye.
Vasquez,
Yes.
Blades,
Aye.
Crump,
Aye.
Cryer,
Yes.
Philip Smith,
Yes.
Prout,
Yes.
Garcia.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Executive Director's Report.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman. Just a few more items on this report. On June 25th, the San Joaquin Valley Policy Council meeting and the multi-agency working group meeting for housing met. And just a heads up, it sure looks like the bill I talked about last month that would give Kern County about $12.5 million related to housing that will be under the discretion of this multi-agency working group that includes Chairman Smith, Mayor Prout, and Supervisor Scrivener. That's making its way through the legislature and could become law within the next month. So more to follow on that. I've talked to Chairman Smith about some ideas about how to get that money out as quickly as possible. And that money is not just for housing. It's for anything that supports our SCS. So bicycle and pedestrian projects are eligible. And as you know, on the TPPC agenda today, we were unable to fund well over $1 million of projects from many of your communities. That's one of the things I'm thinking about is let's fund the projects that we couldn't get to in the last year or two. But I will have discussions with both you and the advisory boards regarding that. Kern COG is currently trying to schedule a meeting with SCAG. Many of you have attended those meetings in the past. We are looking at sometime in the fall, and we are looking at a meeting in Santa Clarita. SCAG is the largest MPO in the United States, and it's an opportunity for staff to interact and also, more importantly, for the elected officials to interact with the Los Angeles County and many other Southern California counties. Please let me know in the next few months if you're interested in attending that. We will continue to work on finding a date that will work for all of us. In your folder this evening is the timeline covering July through December and a flyer announcing a roundtable stakeholder meeting on Wednesday, August 4th. Subject to any of your question, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for the director? Hearing none, any member statements? Hearing none, then I will move to, I have a plaque for Miss Urata that we just heard from in honor of 15 years of hanging out in this place and doing great work. And I've worked with Linda before I got into politics, and she does great work, and we appreciate what you've done, Linda. Thank you so much.
Today would have been my dad's 100th birthday, so that's a little bit more of a bigger anniversary.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda, for all your help and cooperation over the years.
So we will adjourn now to closed session. Okay, closed session was adjourned at 7:45. Any reportable action from closed session?
Chairman Smith, the council held a closed session on two items tonight, and no reportable action was taken.
Thank you. And so now we will adjourn our regular meeting. We are adjourned.